what was before and how we lived before. So life before WebSockets. So during the whole module, we were trying to send data from front end to back end and vice versa. And the typical cycle is to request some data or send some data to the backend, and that will trigger some event on the server and send the response to your front end, right? So this is what you have in your Express, like request response, and this is the like typical flow of data for front end and the back end. So every time you send in the request, you triggering the event on the back end, that will send you a response. Right? Sorry. Yeah, so this is what we have. How do you have any idea how can we get the latest data from the server? Imagine that you have imagine the very very typical example, like the common example is chat, right? So you have a messenger. How you may implement that to your how you can implement the chat functionality for your application. So yeah, any ideas? So you send a message like as one client. So you have two clients, let's say, and you have the server. So one client sending the message to the server, and how the second client can get this message straight away.
I guess you need to have some form of server on your client side so that the request and response are just one and kind of are going direct from the client to the client.
Yeah, but what if you have 5 of them? If you have 5,
I guess you would need to have like some intermediary that can just live get something and send something straight away.
Yeah, like you're right, but like if it starts
so you
syncing,
need to have like a receiver like in each of the 5 people.
Yeah, so imagine that we don't have such thing because we don't. And what is like kind of a very simple and I would say dumb way to get data from the server and kind of get the latest data from the server? Like any like a let's think about as a hack how you can do this.
You can have some like requesting data every millisecond or every
10
milliseconds.
Exactly. So you have like a while loop that will ask the database for the latest. I mean, not database, but server every like 100 milliseconds or every second or every 2 seconds. Send in request, get a response, and basically do something with that. You're right. Yeah. So this is what we had before. This is what we this is how it worked before. And you just have like a while loop or something. So yeah, basically while. So we call it polling. So you basically just doing the requesting data from the backend regularly. And you might have, we have another thing which is long polling. So it's kind of the same. It's another concept. So yeah, here is essentially a more efficient form because you're doing that. So yeah, making repeated requests to the server-based resources as such a new incoming connection must be established. But long polling, you basically you open in the connection and keep that connection. Once you get a response, you basically have like a timeout. Then you will close the connection. This is a completely different concept, and yeah, we just quickly mentioning it here. Okay, so if you're interested in how the polling is working, you can actually read this article about long polling. This is official document, as you can see it. Like every official document looks like just a document, like a, I don't know, government something. Good old 90s. styling. Yeah, so this is polling. And another thing is the server sent events. So you might find the term, the abbreviation is SSE. So what it does, so basically you're triggering events from the server. So server-side event allows you to server push the data to the client once the client-server connection is established. The server can then send data whenever the piece of data is available. So you kind of, it's like, so the first, the polling is client-driven, right? So client need to send a request. Once this SSE is the server-driven. So if the server, you can have basically the same idea, but on the server side. So this is SSE. And the last bit, which is the most modern thing, is Websockets. So Websockets is great API, to be honest. It's literally for live stream data. This is just, it's not perfect, so it still has some issues, especially when you start building some complex applications. But with WebSockets, it's just completely different philosophy behind. So, sorry. Client, what you do is for WebSockets, client and server connects. So you're creating like a tunnel between client and the server. And once you send anything to the server will automatically update all the clients that connected to this, basically to this tunnel. So if you have 20 users or 100 users, all of them get instant update of the latest state on the server side, which is great. So you basically have like a live data within the tunnel. So you have like a TCP/IP protocol, and you basically have a constant connection.
So I guess the responsible party will be the server, and the browser is not pulling, is just sitting there waiting to receive new information.
So both are actually sitting and waiting for a new information, server and a client. So you just,
so you still,
yeah.
You still need to have some sort of fetch or a single wait in the front end, just connecting to the WebSocket, and the WebSocket is going to be the one with the latest info.
No, you don't need to have any fetch or connection. You basically, I'll show you examples today, but you're basically creating, initializing WebSockets on the front end, creating like a name of the connection, and this is it. Once you get any data on that port, let's say on that connection, it will update automatically. So you'll get this data straight away. You don't need to have any like fetching or while or whatever, because it just creates a tunnel and you will get the latest data.
So you link it to your front end, and then can you link it then to your backend on the front end?
Yes.
So you can store that data.
Yeah, exactly. So you connecting, you basically have server as a middleware, and all your clients that have connection to your server. And once you change something or send from one user, it will update everywhere. It will appear everywhere. Yeah. So for WebSockets, we have quite a few libraries, and we have Socket.io for Node.js, WebSockets for Python, and SignalR for .NET. I also left links for each, so you can explore if you specifically interested in one for a specific language. And for us, we will use Socket.io because we just use Node.js. Let me just go there straight away. And here they have a very basic example where it's a very simple setup. We will do pretty much the same in a few minutes. we will try to create a connection and like a live chat. So here they actually have a quite good documentation. They have get started documentation, they have demos, but yeah, it's just fun. Let me just check server side demos. I think it. So let's say
I haven't started the market share project, but is there a WebSocket then you build it to actually get the live share prices, or is that something else?
Yeah, to use WebSockets, that means that the server, that their API is supposed to support WebSockets. And one of these links, links to APIs, they support WebSockets. So you can do that in different ways. You can do with polling, you can have like a get data every second or every 10 seconds, because you might have some limitations from the API as well, because the free version might tell you that you can make a call every 3 seconds or something. I think that the first, I think that the first link, I don't remember which one was that, but you actually have the WebSockets. They support WebSockets, so we can implement in both ways. It's up to you.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me just. Can you try? I just want to show you. Can you use this link and join this communication? Hello. See? Instantly.
Wow.
Yeah. So we will try to build the same stuff and the same chat. Yeah, exactly. This is awesome. I know. Party Barrett. Right. So yeah, exactly. This is it just I mean, it looks like magic, to be honest, because with a few lines of code you can implement that logic and have it. So
55 participants. What does it mean? Like 55 people are...
Yeah. Who's jammed? Who's jammed? Yeah. See, we have friends.
Is that some random people?
Yep. Yeah. They probably check in the documentation and saw our messages. So yeah, this is fun. Okay, so let's go to actually here. We also have the full list of WebSockets libraries, and this is a lone one. So if you go here, we have quite a few. So based on languages, right? So you have agnostic, you have for C, for C++, for C#, for LN, Go, Haskell, Java, Clojure, Kotlin, Scala, Node.js. For Node.js, we have quite a few, right? Perl, PHP, Python, Ruby, like for every single language, basically. So yeah, it's a huge list. You can explore it for specific language if you need one. Also here is a good article where they comparing polling, SSC and WebSockets and telling about advantages and disadvantages and potentially use cases that you might want to kind of understand what you want to, when and what you want to use, which one. Yeah, so let's actually move to practice, because it's not a, I would say it's more about practice. It's not much to say, because you're just using the library, and I will show you the syntax for that, and this is pretty much it. So sorry, this is what we need. We need to have a node server, and we want to have a client. So let's actually do that. Terminal. cd desktop. Okay, rm rf. So let's see what we have here. I just want to remove all the old code npm init -y. Yeah, so we need to actually know. Let me just rm package.json. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Rm -rf dot git. Yeah, okay. So we will create two folders. First will be client. Another one will be server, which should be on the top level. So for the server, we want to have our npm init -y. Oh my god. Okay, so it won't me. I thought I did it today, but sorry, I want to update my note. Come on, come on. So for the client, I will create some index.
By the way, how does it recognize? I'm still a bit confused on, like you have on one side the client server that you open with serve, and then the backends that you open with a no-daemon index.js.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have my response in the question. So they recognize the index.js because we specify no-daemon index.js, but then on the client side, you just say serve and it just gives you a local host like 5,000. Mm-hmm. How does it recognize? How does it link it to the HTML file or to the front end?
So this is the same magic that you have with no-daemon, because by default, when you creating a website, the root file for HTML should be index.html. If you create a website and push it to your hosting and you don't have index.html, it will never show up on actual URL. Okay. Because by default, it will pick up index.html.
Okay. So if you want to specify something else, you say serve and then you put like main.html.
To be honest, I haven't tried. You can try, but yeah, I've never did it before. It's like so common that for some reason I never did it before. Okay. So for server we have npm. I think that's okay, cool. So let me index.js. So we can have our no-daemon here. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So we have server, we have, for client.
You need a JS file for the client.
Yeah. Let's just create for client. I want to serve, right? So we have two things. We have the server and we have client. So let me h1. Hello.
Also no JS file for the client then.
Yeah, so Node.js is this one, the server one, and this is the client one.
No, sorry, I meant, are you not creating any JS file for the client?
Oh, not for now. I'm just creating a basic setup, so we will get there.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we have front end and we have back end. This is what we need for now. So yeah, on the client side, this is where we want to add our socket IO, right? So we can, we basically need to have a socket IO file or just to use a CDN. So socket IO, let's go to socket.io documentation. Wrong one. Learn documentation. Installation. So what do they say? This is for this backend server installation, and we want to have. Oh, yeah. So let's start with server installation. So for my server, I want to install my socket.io. Done. And I think this is it. So next step, implementations. Where is the front end? I just want to make sure that we have, client, right? So client, release notes. Yeah, so basically you want to add the socket.io. I'm just checking. So by default, socket server expose a client global variable. Okay, so let's try just copy paste this stuff. So here, wrong place. So we have importing socket, and let's console log. We'll see, do we actually have this from the global level or not? Socket.
And so you write that in scripts. Interesting.
Yeah, so because this is JavaScript file, that is why it is in script. Right? This is just JavaScript file. And no daemon. Okay. So if I go to this one, refresh, great. So yeah, it's been not found. IO is not defined. Yeah, I was expecting that because we haven't installed. I'm pretty sure that they should suggest you to install. Let me just check it here, client. Right, so CDN, we can use CDN, which is probably better. So this is CDN, so we can use this link to the file. So now we shouldn't have any errors. Refresh, yeah, we have our socket. Yeah, beautiful. So we actually import it. Let me actually check, do we have, yeah, course is fine.
So if we go back to your HTML file, basically you use the script, dash script to put your JS language here rather than open a new JS file.
You mean this one?
Yes.
Yeah, so we basically, what we can do, I can create just, let me just create a new file, index.js, and move this stuff. So src equals.
Okay, so it's the same, it's just.
Yeah. Okay, so we have, here we will put our socket.io, refresh, still the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so we have that on a client side, which is great. So the next step is our server side. So for server side, we need a few things. We need to have our Express because we want to have endpoints, and we want to have, my goodness, we want to have our socket.io. So that will be connected to our server, to the. So what we have HTTP server. We're connecting this HTTP server to our Express and connecting our server to the IO. So let me just go and install a few packages here. So first npm install Express. So const Express requires Express, then const app express, then const HTTP, require HTTP, then const, do we want to have application? I'm just thinking, yeah, server, okay, server. That will be HTTP dot create server with our application, and then I want to have my const IO, which here is just a shortcut socket, I believe it's .io, and this one is just a shortcut, right? So we can call it like in a nice way. You probably can call it like IO package, and on another line you will have something like this. So let me just remove that one, and like this, right? And here you will have your IO or whatever IO. So you're importing, so let me actually maybe group to make it nicer.
So what did you do? A const IO is the package server.
This one. Oh yeah, because I need the socket IO. So I'm requiring, as others, I'm requiring socket IO, and I want to connect it to my.
You connect it to the server.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we can listen for our server, and this one we have io.on and connection. So let's see.
And when we say listen to the server,
so you can.
It's supposed to be listening to. Is it so? The server, our server, is gonna be kind of proactively looking for stuff.
We basically adding. We've adding another extra functionality from socket.io to our server. So our server will get the actual connection. It will know what is WebSocket.
So basically the tunnel is installed at the server level.
Yeah. So we need to have, okay. That is why we're adding require socket.io here, right? And we also add in the same stuff here, because client and the server needs to know in both sides what is WebSocket. Server dot listen 3000.
What's the, so sorry to ask.
Yep.
Rudimentary question, but just would it work if we would only have it linked to the front end, for example?
No, so that means that your front end knows about WebSocket, but backend doesn't.
Yeah, okay. And so the backend needs to know because it needs to store information or posts information. I was just wondering if can you have something that just the front end listens to the WebSocket, or does it absolutely need to go also to the backend?
I would say treat it as a walkie-talkie thing. You need to have two stations, right? You want to have to send messages from one to another, right? You know, yeah. This like a.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So yeah, with one you can't communicate. You need the second part. So both needs to have.
Of course, yeah. The server is your link to the web. That kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so for this one, I don't remember. Yeah, on. So that should be on. I don't remember specific syntax. Connection. And here we have a callback, I believe. Let me check that. Yeah, so we have socket and socket ID, beautiful. So we pass in the socket and we can console log. Come on. we are passing our socket ID, socket ID. Okay, so let me just start my server. Yeah, perfect. So if I refresh the page, oh right, I need to, wait a sec, I need to initialize on the front end, I need to initialize the WebSocket. Let me, so here, I want to create something, and yeah, I don't have this in my front end. So I want to have, sorry? So what I'm doing is socket emit to send a message, and this is, let's say, a tunnel name. So that needs to be matched. I'll show you in a second. So socket, let me show you here. So on the front end, I will do socket emit. Emit. So the first argument is this name. Let's say, I don't know, tunnel, I don't know, something like that. And second, the thing that I want to pass, hello, right? For example. So, oh, sorry. So that should be the second argument is your message. So now, on this side, here, you can have on, and you can have a callback. So let me show you in the documentation. So let me just check their docs. So socket emit, and they have, when you're receiving, you have a callback. This is what I was trying to say. That where you will get your message. So look, that should work, I hope. Message. So let me refresh.
Can you show us again what you did on the front end, just to?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just emitting the message.
So basically, you're emitting the hello message in the tunnel.
Yeah, in the tunnel.
Which is the name of the WebSocket you.
Yeah, with of the connection. And here, that's odd, because we're supposed to see the message. So in their docs, they're saying
socket send hello.
No, so yeah, or with emit, custom event name. So you can actually emit saying. And connection, you have send, emit, on. So you have on message. That, yeah, that's. Do I need? I remember that no daemon makes funny thing with WebSockets. So let's try just node index. I remember that we had these troubles. Pam. I'm wondering. Refresh. Still nothing. So we have tunnel, we have message. I don't know, my message. Restart. Oh, sorry. Restart. We should actually get the connection ID when I refresh the page. Let me just try to serve again. we should get automatically the ID of the connection when we connect. Like if I refresh the page, we should be able to see the connection. Am I doing something wrong here? I'm wondering, let me check, did I install this one here? Yeah, socket.io, that's fine. Might be that I missed some tiny thing here. So we have, let me just double check with the setup. So we have Express, we have it. We have HTTP, yep. And we have require IO. So yeah, so we want to create server with HTTP create app. This is what we have. Okay. And then require socket IO. And then we're calling our socket IO with the server, which is on connection socket. That's really interesting. I'm wondering, will it make a difference if I move it here and do another way? So just IO.
You need to have that line 10 because it looks that in the example you don't have it. The socket on channel.
Sorry?
It just says IO.on connection socket.
Oh, we have
7, it. But we have also we have a double thing.
What do you mean?
So we have socket on.
Oh yeah. That was just about connection, but now we are adding the actual message. But it looks like we can't connect for some reason. Let me just refresh. Yeah, so we're getting some issues here with the connection. This is interesting. Why we are failing? Ah, wait a second. Is it because we are on different ports? Maybe because we are on different ports, we might need to specify new WebSocket like this. Yeah, potentially. So where's our backend on 3000, right? So maybe we just need to specify ports 3000. So that will know where to send. Okay, now that's better. So course, good old course. Let me just check why our course is throwing the error. Add the origin for all redirects. Whitelisted domain HTTP local host 3000, right? Ooh. Is it localhost 3000? Yeah, I think it's yeah, so see, we try to send, but we can't connect to that one, which is interesting. Let me think. By the post. Refresh. That's really odd. Let me just double check with their documentation. So they have To be honest, I didn't have these problems before. 3000. Yeah, so this is what we have on message on, yeah. This is what we have. Our browser doesn't like the idea of communication between two ports. Localhost. And we have, yeah, so this is interesting. If we, I'm just trying to think. This is just a connection. Refresh. Yeah, so we can't establish connection. Server listen. This is interesting. I'm wondering what's going on. So we have the front end with, so of course, if you remove this one from here, refresh, posts. Let me actually stop and retry the server. No, still the same. Yeah, so it's trying to connect, but for some reason it's not able to connect. So if I commented out this one, refresh, yeah, we don't have any errors. So we try to connect. Localhost.
What's the WS standing for?
WebSocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me check. WebSocket posts error. Anyone listener? New WebSocket. Connection failed. This is interesting. Certificate. Oh, is it because of SSL? Certificate missing is invalid. I'm wondering, do we want to have no, so this is HTTP, but what do they ask us for? Just want to check. Create a server. Oh, by the way, here's something what we do. So buffer byte lengths require. Yeah, this is what we do. So we have the server, and for some reason it won't run. Yeah, look at this. So theoretically, if it just copy paste in their code, right, that should work. It's not. So let me just check. This is really old, to be honest. You will have on the client side. Instead of writing. Okay, so let's just try to follow what they're suggesting. I'm just wondering what's going on here. And this is your backend. Here. So if you save, rerun the node, rerun the serve, and refresh the page. Yeah, same stuff. So we are doing right thing, but we have some weird issue with our browser.
Is that your Brave shield, maybe?
Theoretically, oh, actually it's turned off. But who knows how deep it goes, right? Yeah, so this is coarse. Yeah, that's obvious. But we still have post error. My goodness, why we have this error? WebSocket post error. It does not support posts, and you may want to do some research on it. Okay.
And by the way, the server you can use whatever, or it needs to be HTTP?
Yeah, so let's try maybe HTTPS. I'm wondering, will that help? That will be funny if it will. Okay. So let me check. Nah. Not really. Connection error, WebSocket. Connection error. I have a feeling that our browser is just blocking something. And that is why we just can't see the actual problem.
Maybe you should have WebSocket connection error Brave. No.
Let me check. So let's go to installation. So we installed efficiently perform operations such as masking and unmasking data payload. Efficiently check the message contains valid. Okay. Other web server implementation. Handle upgrade. Packages. Yeah, I think it looks fine. Initialization. So this is what we do. Require, create server, require, beautiful. This is what we have. Yeah, this is what we have. TypeScript installation. So they're actually happy with HTTP. Yeah, they're showing that it is working with HTTP. Let me just check the client side. Wait, no, the version can be found. Yeah, that should be fine. As well, CDN, npm package, numbers. Okay, so client looks fine. Initialization is we are adding script. This is what we did. This is what we have. And from a different domain. Yeah. So this is what we do. 3000. Let me just here. Oh, wait a sec. Are they saying HTTP? That will be again another silly thing if this is true. Yep, still the same. We had get method failing because we're trying to pull. Yeah, still we don't have connection. This is just silly. This is really, really silly. Greetings. My goodness. Why my browser is blocking everything?
You want to maybe try with Safari or just to check?
Let's try Chrome. Where's Chrome? Oh, wait a second. Get the response. No, still the same. You can see it's still the same. It's failing. Pam param pam pam. Okay, so let me just put everything as it was. So just a simple mit and just very random thing. If you do script I'm wondering, can it be possibly because of that? Nah. So we have the CDN, which is fine. Then we have the socket there. So we tested that we have a socket just to make sure that the local host let me just check, by the way, with app dot, do we have server app dot get I'm just want to check, do we actually run on the right thing? Response send hi. So if you go to localhost 3000, yeah, we have hi. Okay, so it is working here. It is working, so this is some magic. We have the server, we have the connection. Is it some silly spelling somewhere? Where is it? Installation, initialization. IO connection. No, it's not a spelling. That's really interesting, to be honest. Let me actually check one more thing. This is really odd. I just want to find what it did wrong. Let me check that. Definitely need to, because we haven't. I'm also wondering, is there any chance that their CDN used just some different version of the WebSocket? So where's the client installation? I'm wondering why this one won't work. Do I need to install? This is interesting, because I have a feeling that yeah, I think I know that for some reason my browser is blocking everything. That is why we don't have it. If we try, let me actually try to do that. I don't know. What do we want to have? Let's create, I don't know, some public folder and have some static serving. Right. Let me think. Do we want to have? I'm just thinking, maybe if we serve this on the same endpoint, that might work. So without this one, we will just send where is my server? So we have our app.get whatever, because I think that might be my browser for some reason just want to block it. But if we have it on the server side, so response.send, we can send our public /index HTML. Let's see, will we have any connection? So this is 3000. Perfect. Actually, it's send file, right? Send file. Path must be absolute specific. Okay. Sorry. So that might be. Is it complaining about? I think we installed, right? Ah, sorry. Yeah, socket.io. That's fine. The only thing that I missed. Right. So what did I miss here? When we have files, we want to have a middleware, right? Remember? We normally have app.use and static. What was that? Static. Express static. My goodness. And the folder name should be public, because you need to specify where you have your static files. Yeah, okay, cool. Beautiful. Yeah, so now it is working. Silly. For some reason, browser is blocking that. So see that we have a connection. We have the ID of the connection. And this comes from here. And now we can theoretically catch the message from here. So refresh. We actually sent a message, hello, right? Sorry, can you, hello? Hello, can anyone hear me? Yes, no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. So yeah. Now, because we are on the same endpoint, we actually don't need this anymore. I think that it's blocking for browser for some reason is blocking that. So we are getting the data, we're sending data to the backend. So we can send this message to the backend. So let's actually try to create some UI for that. I just want to create quickly some input. Let me actually render UL messages, and here I will have something like yeah, just messages, and I will add input. Let me just, that should be text area. Yeah, fine, text is fine, and placeholder should be message. So now in my JavaScript, I want to select my elements, const well, which is document query selector, and that will be our messages, and another one will be input. I need a submit, it's not just an input, right? So that should be form. Here we will have with no action, we don't need it. We have input here and button send, right? Something like that. So let me check our front end. Okay, so we have it. We don't need to have this one, hello, or maybe we can rename it to messenger. Okay, so we have form. So let's find form. And yeah, so when we submit our form dot add event listener, we have submit. We want to have event and prevent default. Prevent the default. Right? So we prevent the default. Then we taking the const value. We will take event target query selector. We want to find our input, and then dot value. So we will take the value and we want to emit this event to the server, right? So when we emit an event to the server, we want to take the value and send it to the server. So let's try refresh. We have a new connection. So hello, hit enter. We have hello, right? We actually want to reset our input value to nothing. It should be empty string. So let's try again. How are you? Hit enter. And we have how are you here. So we are sending data straight away, immediately. And if I try to open a new connection, you can see that we have another connection, right? And if I send message from here, so let me actually check, show you IDs. So it's recognize each session. So here we can have something like user ID. Yep. Let me actually just make it nice. So we will have backticks, $, ID, curlies, and so yeah, we will see messages from different users. So save, refresh here, refresh here. Oh, hello. Hit enter. And we have hello from this AAAI. And here we have hi. We have from another user, right? So we have actually communication. So now we can here we can send data back, or we have socket on and socket emit. So emit to send the message and on to receive. But we can actually broadcast socket broadcast. So let me show you. Then theoretically, we can just send this back. So we can have something like emit socket.emit, and we can send this. Let me just make sure that I'm doing the right thing. So we've emitting a message back, and we just want to call it somehow, right? So we want to have it message. So we're emitting a new thing to the front end, right? And let's say that if we receiving something on message, right? So on message, we want to take socket and do something. So let's say console log socket. I just want to see what we will have. Did I break something? What's going on? Oh, this is the wrong one, sorry. Refresh. So if I send a message, I got a response, right? Straight away, back from my server. And here, refresh this page. So let me show you that refresh. Hello. Ooh, it doesn't actually. So where's our broadcast? Send it to all clients except sender. Yeah, okay. So we can do this basically broadcast. And let me just add here. Save. Oh, wrong one. So server here. So it's broadcasting to everyone. So let's actually try. Let me put it here. Refresh. Hello. So as you can see, I just got hello from this side, right? So we don't have message here, but your user, the other one, got message here. So let me actually show you the logic behind. So let's, on our public, on our front end, I want to add, create a function, add new message, add new message. We'll have text. So can anyone help me to create a light element? Okay, fair enough. My autocomplete just did it for you. So we created an element, then li dot inner text will be text, and then ul.append child li, right? This is pretty much it. So now when I hit enter, sorry, I want to add my message basically in the same format. So here I will have pretty much what I have here. Sorry. Right? And the same thing I will have here with just so that should be message, and we will have message here. So let's try. Refresh. Hello. Message is not defined. What's going on? Right, message is not defined because that should be value. My bad. So hello, right? So we have message hello from one user, and you see yourself. You actually can have like here, that can be me. Probably it's better. So refresh again, refresh second time. Hello. So me, hello. And you can see that this comes from the user, right? And here you can have like, so you're basically communicating in real life, in real time. Yep, that makes sense. Let me actually show you how quick it is happening. Let me close this one. So refresh. So if I type hello, it's just instant, right? Instantly. So this is the power of WebSockets, and yeah, for some reason I don't know why it's complaining. My browser for some reason is complaining. Probably it requires some more setup, not just simple setup. But yeah, so WebSockets, they have a cheat sheet how you can send your messages, and you can create rooms. You can create. You can assign names. I believe that here. I think that because we just saw that you can actually. Let me just the WebSocket configuration. Where was it? Compatibility, release, installation. We saw the huge list of configuration for WebSockets, because there you can specify. My goodness, wait a second. Where is the whole configuration? It was here. Time URL, domain headers, user agent, console. Wait a second. Socket configuration. I don't remember. WebSocket configuration. Or arguments. Okay, so we have, I'm just looking for how we can specify the actual username. My goodness, I just saw it somewhere. the whole huge object. Events, migration, middleware, installation, client installation. Oh, right, here. So you have timeouts, reconnection, infinite, JSON, upgrade, policy, agent. I'm just looking for a custom username. Websockets, custom user ID. It might be a bit more complicated. I'm just thinking user name. So they might have. So to set a user ID, you've taken the value from the user, storing that. You're assigning basically to a variable where you have the username. Yeah, that's probably the right way how they handling this. So here we have these random IDs, right? But we can ask at another form for the name, or maybe we can just hard code. Yeah, let's have another form for name. Name. Save. I just want to show you class name. Here, class message form. Name form. Like this. So on our front end, we will have something like message form, right? So this is on message form. We want to do something. And we have name form. Name form. So we have name form, and here I have my name form. So we are sending this date. We can collect the name from the user. So name form, and I will just, as a dummy thing, I will create like a user name, right? Let, and here I will just prevent default, get the value, don't need this, add new message, don't need this. I just want to redefine user name equals value, right? This is it. So now when I send the data emit, I can actually pass the data for of my user. So value and username. Actually just value and username. I think that we can pass the object. I hope so. Let me just quickly check that. So we have an object, and here I just want to console log. Console log message. Yeah. Right? So we are just value and input, and this is it pretty much. Okay, so let's see. Refresh. Still save, and here we will have hello. Yeah, so as you can see, we're passing an object, right? So it can be a complex data, not just a basic data like a string or number. So that means that what we can use now is just getting message, not ID, but username. Yep. Username. And here we will have message value, something like that. So now if you refresh, sale, hit enter, here we will have Alex. So now like hello, and you have Vasil, right? Hi, and you have Alex. So you can create a real-time chat, and I can open many tabs and have this communication. So that means that when you basically you can have a real-time data, passing data with WebSockets very easily if you not stuck as I did today with the browser support. Yep.
And then if you wanted to put it online, you can via MongoDB, for example.
I can just deploy to the Firebase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can just deploy that to the Firebase, and this is it basically.
So that would be on the server side. Then you don't need a database here. It's just server.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because I'm not storing data anywhere. I'm just sending data from one to another.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. So it doesn't require a lot of code. Like with a few lines, you can have basically it's literally like 5 lines, and you have it, and you can have the communication. The only bit is that I definitely need to investigate about the browser, the cross. Like a cross ports communication, like different websites. Because if you're hosting front end on the other side, for some reason we can't establish connection. So yeah, we just need to figure. I need to double check that how to configure WebSockets. It's probably not more about WebSockets. It's about the actual browser communication and course stuff. But yeah, I need to check that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the WebSockets by default, it's just a very lean thing. And here, as you can see again, we have just very few lines. Just emit, one line to send the message, and just 2 lines basically to receive messages. So it is pretty simple in implementation. And sorry. Again, this cheat sheet is very helpful because you can basically they describe that in a nice way how what kind of method you want to use in which case. So like I said, that for us broadcasting is what we want, right? You can create you can create environments like rooms, etc. So yeah, that also possible with WebSockets. And yeah, you can theoretically have something like a disconnect. You can disconnect on specific case. I don't know if you can have. I don't know. You probably saw that in some chats. When somebody, I don't know, swear, for example, you can have a library of different words, and if somebody just swearing, you can just block the person automatically, and that will disconnect this person or whatever. So yeah, also helpful. And for the project, real-time data, basically because their API is supporting that. Because their API, let me actually check that. GitHub. Trading. So this API, FinHub, they support WebSockets. That is why you can use it. So here trades, and you have the endpoints, how you can connect to their port. So yeah, you're basically just setting up, hitting their endpoint, and here the documentation, how to get data and how it's structured basically, right? So it's it should be very straightforward, but should be fun because with WebSockets you'll have live data without like polling, etc. But they also have like a good old implementation where you can just fetch data on request. So premium means that you need to buy an account, I think, or something, but the rest is free, and trades is free, which is great because this is what you need for your project. Yes, so yeah, stop price, high, yeah, basically you have everything. You have everything from here. We're providing a few more URLs, but those guys, they do not support WebSockets at all. Also, I'm just suggesting that you can, once you finish the main part here, I strongly suggest you to try and play with D3 or Chart.js. It's a library where you just plug this library to your to your project, and you can have providing data from, for example, from your WebSockets, and you're updating your chart. So yeah, you can have something like that. So yeah, basically that will be something like this, right? So you're providing data and you'll have a nice chart. You don't need to build it from scratch. You're just adding that package to your project. Any questions?
That's pretty cool, that charts.js. Did you put that in the material, the chart.js?
So yeah, you have a link.
Oh yeah, link in there.
Yeah, we put link to chart.js and D3. So D3 is the main, I would say, the chart library. This is the actually is like a graphic library. It's not just charts. You have it's just insane. Sometimes it just goes ridiculous. How powerful is that?
Right.
Yeah. So they just going nuts sometimes. But you don't need to, it's very complex. So the D3 is very complex, like with abilities basically, and you just don't need it. Chart.js, I think it's very simple. You can just edit, plug data, and you have a nice UI. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just thinking. So the next week for us is let me try to check. Next week for us is slides. We have yeah, so JS frameworks. Then we will talk about actually components, etc., and basic setup. Then state, then props, then state and props code alone. So we will build to-do app. Then we will talk about life cycle of our React components, because React has own life cycle. Then we will talk about routing, because single page application still needs to have routing and have different URLs, because by default everything is on one URL. Then we will talk about Redux, which is the state management thing, and React Redux, because Redux is kind of agnostic to the framework. You can use it in JavaScript, but yeah, this is the main, I would say, library for state management for React. Yes, I think this is pretty much it. Sorry for talking today and wasting time on this setup. To be honest, I will try to play around and figure it out why it doesn't like the front end on a separate server. This is odd, but yeah, we'll try to play. When I find the solution, I'll let you know. Any questions?
Cool, thank you. No questions for me.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay then. Enjoy your exercises. I will. Yeah, you have WebSockets exercise. So I hope.
By the way, on exercises, I'm just conscious of when we upload on GitHub, you know, like there are like some server information like with username and password. What do we do? We just is there a way to make it private so that no one else, like apart from you, can see it? Or because I'm just conscious that when you put it on GitHub, it's then on the web, on the wild web.
For which exercise?
Well, I'm on the you know, like the HTTP server, the PHP server, like not PHP, sorry, MySQL server, and what is the other one?
Express?
MongoDB.
Ah, right.
You know, like the info you put.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, the SQL one, I use one of my the passwords I typically use, and I'm just don't want to have it online. So I was just wondering if there was a way to.
Yeah.
Get away with it. I don't know.
So normally you have like environments. What I will suggest you is to create a separate file with keys, right? And export all these like URL, like MongoDB URL, that and with passwords, etc. from there to your file, to the basically main application, and do not commit this file. So if I want to, for example, test it, we can do what? I can put my credentials probably and use like my data.
Got it. Okay.
But theoretically, you can make your repository private and just invite me as a collaborator.
Okay, yeah, that would be maybe the easiest. Okay.
Yeah, we can do it this way as well.
Cool, perfect.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. And yeah, I see you on Monday.
Yeah, see you on Monday. Happy Christmas.
Yeah, you too.
Christmas to you all.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.